This sequence is one that's designed to focus on your lower abdominals, your upper abdominals, and then your glutes, all with a focus on eventually releasing these tight hip flexors that we tend to build up tension in through sitting, running, cycling, pretty much anything we do, sedentary or active. So we'll begin lying on our backs. Focus on just waking up this lower abdominal area. See how I can slide my hand underneath my low back pretty easily. So on the inhale, make it easy to slide your hand under the low back, lifting, arching that low back away from the floor. And on the exhale, press the low back down into the floor without pushing your feet down. So inhale, lift the low back. And exhale, press the low back down. Inhale to lift. You'll feel how your low ribs and your pelvic front bones come further apart. And then exhale, press the low back down and draw the low ribs and the front hip points closer together. One more time like this. Inhaling to lift the low back. And exhaling to press it down. Now inhale to a neutral position. So it's hard to slide your hand underneath your low back, but there's a little bit of space there. And as you exhale, slowly lift your legs to what we call tabletop, shins parallel to the ceiling. You can stay right here, or extend the legs a little straighter, or all the way up towards the ceiling. In any of these positions, spread the toes here, and keep this low back in neutral, so there's only a tiny bit of space underneath it here. On your exhalation, pull your abdominals in towards your spine without flattening your low back down onto the floor, and then relax your arms by your ears. On your exhalation, press that low back down, curling your tailbone up to the ceiling slightly. Inhale, come back to that neutral lower back arch. Exhale, press the lower back down. Inhale, lift the lower back slightly to neutral. Exhale, press the lower back down. Inhale, lifting the lower back slightly. Now you can keep going just like this. If this is too difficult, put one foot down on the floor and continue without using the foot that's on the floor. To exhale, press your lower back down, and inhale, lift it up. To make this harder, exhale, press your lower back down and begin to lift the hips a little. And then inhale, take it back to neutral. Exhale, press the lower back down, lift the hips. And inhale, slowly take it back to neutral. Now your elbows might lift a little as you exhale and the core of your body is working. Inhale, take it back to neutral. You can keep going with any of these options or proceed to the full rollover on your exhale. Inhale here, flex your feet, and then exhale, roll the spine down as slowly as you can without using your arms. Let them stay relaxed. Inhale here, point the toes. Exhale, roll over. Inhale here, flex the feet. And as you exhale, roll it back down. Now, I'm not a big fan of using the arms on the floor, so if you find that you have to use your arms to push up, instead, peel it back to just exhale, lift the tailbone, inhale back to neutral. So take one more of any of these options. These options are all focusing on firing up your lower abdominals first, and then the upper abdominals. And then bend your knees to tabletop legs and take hold behind your thighs. Now we'll begin to wake up from the lower abdominals all the way up through the upper abdominals. As you exhale, scoop those in and press your thighs forward into your hands. Inhale, come back to neutral spine. Slide your chin towards your chest. Exhale as you press the lower back into the floor. Push your thighs into your hands. And inhale as you slowly come back to neutral. Keep going like this. Now, if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia or certain other spinal conditions that your doctor has told you it's not a good idea to flex like this, this is flexion of the spine while strongly engaging your abdominals, then you can come back to this more neutral position here of exhaling and inhaling. And on your next exhalation, if flexion of the spine is fine for you, you can begin to roll yourself up, inhaling to lift the chest, and then exhale to roll back down. Inhale to neutral spine, and exhale as you press the legs forward. I should probably inhale here, and as you exhale, roll back down. Keep going like that with your breath as slowly as you can. At first, you need momentum to press the legs forward. And soon you can slow that down and avoid using gravity or momentum at all. Use these central core muscles. First the abdominals, then push the legs forward into your hands and lift up to neutral spine. So I should probably modify what I just said. If you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia or other spinal conditions that contraindicate flexion, which again is this position of the spine, then this is not the series for you. There aren't too many exercises in this series that are really going to be beneficial for you and avoid the harm that extreme flexion can cause for you with those conditions of the spine. So find a different abdominal and core workout series that lets you keep a more neutral or extended spine instead of flexion. So the next time you're ready to roll, use your exhalation to roll yourself up. Inhale, straighten your legs on the floor now. And you can do this without weights or with just 1 or 2 pound water bottles or weights in your hands. These are 5 pound weights, and that's probably as far as I would go because we're going to straighten the arms here in some cases. Inhale, bend your elbows, point them up to the sky, and press your head back into the weights. Exhale, straighten the arms as you lean back with a neutral spine. Inhale as you come up, head back into the weights. Exhale as you scoop in the abdominals, and always, along with your abdominals, you're engaging your pelvic floor. So inhale, ribs in, head back. Exhale, pelvic floor and abdominals engage to let you lean back. 2 more times. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and you might not need to lean back as far as I'm leaning, or you may need to lean back a little further. Try plugging the arm bones in, and you want to make sure there's no strain in the lower back or any of the joints. And this time, place the weights down at the edge of your mat and come all the way up to stand. You may cross your legs to stand up. If you've been working on this for a while, bring your feet to parallel to stand up and keep your hips and your knees as far back as possible as you rise. So now, coming to a standing position, you may want a wall near you so that you can touch the wall for balance. And as you exhale, keep these abdominals lifted, the pelvic floor engaged, and take the right leg back. Notice how the leg wants to turn out. Instead, keep the legs parallel so that when you look down, your outer edges of your feet are parallel instead of the inner edges of the feet. And then lift through the abdominals. Feel your low front ribs and your front hip points again. Make sure they're not pulling apart as you practice this next move. Instead, keep them firmly engaged and still so you stabilize the center of the body as you lift that right toe just an inch. Exhale as you lower it, and inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as you lift. So each time you exhale, you have a chance to re-stabilize this area. And each time as you inhale, you have a chance to engage that right glute. You might even want to reach back, the back of your hand. Make sure it's this right glute that is engaging. One more time. And you can keep going like this, or begin to fold forward. This is where you might want the ball for balance. But keep that box, that center core area, firmly engaged and stable. Bend your standing leg just a little bit to unlock the knee and float your arms out. As you exhale, bend that right knee behind your left. Inhale, extend that right leg straight. Exhale to bend the right knee. Inhale as you extend. This one I'm keeping unlocked the whole time. Exhale to bend. Inhale, extend. Optional, pick up the weights. Exhale to bend, pull the weights in. Inhale to extend. Just a few more like this. You can also switch the breathing if you prefer to exhale as the leg extends in order to keep the center stable here. One more, with or without the weights. And then place the feet down. You can drop the weights as well and start with the left leg. Remember, as you take the left leg back, this might happen, or this. And instead, we're going to stabilize. Bring the front low ribs in line with the front hip points. Look down, make sure that your feet and your legs are still parallel here. And this left leg is not allowed to turn out because these glutes, generally, they remember, even through all of our sitting, how to externally rotate, but they forget how to extend the hip, which is taking that leg straight back, which we're now going to do. Exhale, lift the toe. Inhale to lower. So see, the breath can be used either way. Exhale to stabilize here. Inhale to lift. Or exhale as you lift so that you're stabilizing through that movement. See which one works better for you. And then stick with that. So that you know your breathing continues to be smooth, even though you're learning how to stabilize through the center. And you can stay with this small movement, or you can bend your standing leg slightly as you begin to tip forward, lifting the back leg higher. This standing leg stays unlocked as you exhale. Take the left knee behind the right. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Again, the breath is just a suggestion. Keep the center of your body stable. And when you're ready, you have the option of weights here. So the lifted leg straightens as much as possible. The standing leg stays a little bit bent. Micro bend to keep that knee unlocked. Let's try one more. And then place those weights down. Let's come all the way to sit and lie back. You won't need the weights for this next movement, but you may need a block. So have a block or a couple of books handy. Roll down onto your back. And as you inhale, lift your hips. And as you exhale, slide the block underneath, either on low or on medium. And let the sacrum settle down onto the block. Then press the back of your head into the floor and tuck your shoulders underneath so your palms face up as you relax your arms. Now focus on your breath here and let it slow down. Throughout our everyday lives, as we stand and sit still for long periods, the glutes turn off, and often the abdominals do too. And what holds us in place are these hip flexors on the front of the hip and the thigh. Sometimes also the quadriceps and the hamstrings begin to grip as well. So when we wake up the abdominals and the glutes and get them to carry more of their weight, so to speak, then we want to also release these hip flexors to lose that unnecessary tension that we're holding on to in the front of them. So when you're ready, begin to straighten the right leg and flex the right foot and feel your inner right thigh and inner right heel dropping towards the floor. Now, if the floor feels really far away, you can also prop the right heel with another block. But don't let the right baby toe jut out to the right. That's giving in to that external rotation, which is the one remaining function that our glutes generally remember how to do. And it tries to take over, and it skews our alignment in the rest of the body. So keep dropping that inner right heel and inner right thigh as you stretch out the front of the right hip and thigh. And you can do this for quite a bit longer than I am here, but when you're ready, switch sides and notice if one side feels tighter or more open than the other. And again, don't let that foot turn out and drop out to the side. Instead, keep encouraging it to rotate internally and drop that inner left heel towards the floor first. You can feel free to repeat either side. If one of them seems to need more time and attention here, releasing. But when you're ready, lift up off of the block and rest in Shavasana. I recommend more time than now in your Shavasana practice, but thank you so much for practicing yoga and Pilates.